In beautiful Stafford, Virginia, the greens and fairways are just the beginning. Discover our scenic trails, paddle our rivers, and enjoy nature's grandeur. Your taste buds will thank you as you visit our award-winning breweries and wineries. In Stafford, the history, stories, and legends of America's past are waiting to be discovered. Whether you're chasing outdoor adventure, family fun, or a place to unwind, Stafford has it all. Just off I-95 and closer than you think. Plan your visit at tourstaffordva.com. Stafford, where your story starts.
Hello and welcome to the Golfing Around Radio Hour. It's your host, Randy the Tank Tantlinger, and spring is in the air, love is in the air, the butterflies are flying and the bunny rabbits are a bunnying, and golf ball hackers are out there starting to go to the hackers. I was at the Golf Dome the other day testing my new PXG golf clubs. Serious investment for a not serious golfer, and absolutely found myself hacking away, Eamon, because I could not get my backswing going. I'm joined by Eamon. Now, he's over there in Ireland. He is not here in the United States. Eamon is in Ireland. They're about 5 hours ahead of us. And Eamon, your official title is what, brother?
So I'm lucky enough to be the director of golf here at Dromoland Castle.
Dromoland Castle. Folks, when you think of Ireland, when you think of castles, when you think of the Emerald Isle, you have to think of Dromoland Castle. Now, how do you say it slowly, Eamon?
Dromoland.
Dromoland.
It just flows off the tongue.
Yes, it does, especially after a few pints of Guinness. It'll certainly roll off the tongue.
We can always arrange that, Randy. There's no issue with that. That's part of the official Irish welcome once you join us at the West of Ireland.
That is right. That is right. Now, for you folks who don't do math real well, if you don't do math real well, Ireland, well, Dublin is on the East Coast. See, that's a joke there, Raymond, because math has nothing to do with it, right? Dublin is on the East Coast. Dromoland Castle is on the West Coast. Eamon, the closest airport to you is Shannon, am I correct?
Correct, yeah. We're very lucky. Shannon being an international airport with transatlantic flights to and from yourselves in the US. As the crow flies, it's about 5 to 10 minutes away from us door to door. It's a big part of our day-to-day business, and the airport facilities get better and better year in, year out. And I religiously fly out of Shannon when I can. It's one of those best kept secrets that a lot more people are realizing how good it is and advantageous it is to especially to come to Ireland.
You know, folks, if you've never been to Ireland, it is easier than ever. Ireland's national airline, Aer Lingus, there's a couple, Ryanair and Aer Lingus, but Aer Lingus has expanded their flights in the United States of America. Even my hometown now, Eamon, of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, has direct flights into Ireland.
We do,
which is amazing.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers. They have a long, I suppose, a long impact here with Dromoland Castle as well. We would be familiar with a couple of the ownership party of that there, so it's great to see that connection thriving as regards to Shannon Airport as well.
Well, we call that Steelers Nation, and we took over Ireland last September. And everybody had a great time with the Pittsburgh Steelers playing there in Dublin.
Yeah, we're very lucky, Randy. You may not be aware, but the Rooney family, who would be involved with the Steelers, it's synonymous with Ireland as well. They're obviously part of the ownership group here at Dromoland. So, it was great to be able to welcome them and the rest of the Steeler Nation. A lot of them came to visit us here in Dromoland during that Steelers and Vikings game. So it was great to welcome so many people from that region, and the colour and the atmosphere and the energy that they brought in September was great for the Steelers and Vikings.
Well, the University of Pittsburgh Panthers football team, which I'm an alumni of, I played left bench 100 years ago. Aiming for the Pitt Panthers football team will be playing the Wisconsin Badgers in September of 2027 in Dublin. So you may see some more Pittsburghers.
Excellent.
Hey, go to the website, folks. DROMOLAND.IE, Dromoland.IE. And Eamon, I love right on your own homepage your motto of "Our castle is your castle. Our castle is your castle." You hear about Irish hospitality all the time. That's a very welcoming way to greet your guests.
And it's one of the things we're very proud of, that when people come and visit us here, that when they stay on site, they get as if they're meeting an extended family. And for us, that's a that's a pillar of kind of the Irish hospitality and the Irish welcome. And we want to ensure that when people have traveled across the Atlantic, and they want to experience that authentic Irish castle and hospitality, that they do leave us with a sense of, it's like I've just met the relatives from across the parish, and I can't wait to go back again. So that's a big factor of our day-to-day business and our day-to-day ethos with the team here at Dromoland.
And folks, it really is true about the Irish hospitality. You feel like a member of the family, as Eamon said. Dromoland is a 5-star experience. 5 stars. Please tell us of some of the awards you've won. I saw U.S. News and World Report just ranked you really, really high.
Yeah, I suppose we're always striving to excel and to improve ourselves. And we've been very lucky. We've been leading hotel of the world, Irish hotel of the world, 5-star castle of the world. So there's a list of prestigious awards, as part of the castle heritage, and that's also extended onto the golf course as well. We were leading Irish Parkland golf course with the IGTOA in 2018, and since then we've actually invested considerably on the estate and also on the golf course. So we're always striving to improve, and we're very fortunate in the last week to 10 days. We've just I suppose got through the planning process of a major development that is going to be happening here over the next 18 to 24 months, which is going to see significant investment in Dromoland, and that will see us, I suppose, aspire to be the number one hotel resort, golf resort in the world, not just in Ireland. We're very much aiming for the stars, and we believe we have the there's no doubt we have the team here in the Irish hospitality, but we believe that we have the assets, and we're going to have the facilities that will match what the Irish welcome is, and we're very much looking forward to the next challenge and the next frontier for Dromoland.
Well, Eamon, let's paint a picture for our listeners now. Let's paint a picture of Dromoland Castle and the estate, built in the 16th century. 16th century, the castle goes back. Please tell us about the castle and the accommodations within the castle and on the property.
Yeah, so I suppose the estate Dromoland will date back to 1543, which goes back to the former Lord Kings of Ireland, Brian Ború, and so on. And obviously, it has seen a number of different concepts to it. In its current format, it's a 500-acre estate with a main lake and a castle that is dating back to 1543. The castle itself is a 97-bedroom 5-star hotel with all the amenities that you'd expect of a modern 5-star establishment. The history on the property is incredible. You're dating back to the O'Brien's family, who would have been the more recent owners as regard before the current Dromoland board have bought it. There's every point that you visit throughout the estate, you're going to find some element of history here. We have our own wall garden, which is mirrored on the old Versailles gardens. You have a number of different old thatches and walkways that we've recently put in around the estate that actually captures an element of the history going back to 300-400 years. I have a tree in the middle of the 18th fairway, which dates back about 400 to 450 years. So we're very mindful that we everything that we're doing is very much future-proofing Dromoland, but we're very mindful of making sure that we capture and maintain as much of our history as possible. We're very proud of history that Dromoland was built on as we move forward into the next dimension. But it's an incredible estate. I'm very fortunate to work here. We've an 18-hole championship golf course which surrounds the castle and the main lake. And as you drive in the main avenue itself, you reach the first bend, and you're in the distance over the lake. You see this Irish castle that just appears out of nowhere. And even every day that I drive in, you're still kind of taken back in awe, and you kind of go, was this really real? It's something you imagine from the movies, but it is real. We're very proud of it, and it always you always have a sense of pride when you're coming through the gate as a member of the team here.
We're talking with Eamon from Dromoland Castle. Sorry about the American pronunciation there, Eamon, on the Golfing Around Radio Hour. Talking about the splendor of Ireland, talking about the splendor of the castle and the estate. Eamon, many ladies, we'll call them princesses, when they decide that they're going to betroth their knight in shining armor and get married, I can't imagine a better place than Dromoland Castle to do that in. I'm certain you host a lot of weddings.
Yeah. We've hosted, I suppose, a number of international weddings and pretty big events. As a place to have that special day, there's very few places in the world that brings that magic and that as that Cinderella story and that kind of Disney moment. It is incredible. I'm very lucky to, I suppose, be a part of a wedding here and see firsthand the work that goes in behind the scenes, and what the team do to, I suppose, to make sure that we deliver and what the expectations is. But as you say, Randy, it is a magical venue to be able to host an event like that. And the Ború room, which is our main venue for hosting weddings, the history that's inside that room itself, and the it's just magical. The hairs on your neck could be standing up just when you walk in there when they've it set up for a wedding. It's quite inspiring. We were lucky enough. We held the Women's Irish Open here in 22 and 23, and we had a players' reception actually in the wedding venue. And the 156 ladies that joined us that evening, I think they spent more time looking up at the ceiling and the chandeliers and all the works around the room itself. They were just, I think a lot of them may have been planning future weddings down the line and saying this could be an ideal venue. So it's it is one of those special places to get married in Dromoland, especially with the setting of the castle and the lake then as your backdrop for those magical moments caught on film and pictures and so on as well.
Eamon, so I'm old. I'm an old man around. I've been around 61 years, right? And I've used to box, wrestle, American football, was in the Army, broke my back. The Castle Spa. The Castle Spa sounds just about right for an old man like me or a bride and her bridesmaids. Tell me about that Castle Spa.
Especially, to be fair, Randy, with the amount of shots you hit on the golf course, I think the spa would be the perfect place for you to go afterwards.
Hey man, I'm very proud. I shot a 131 at Royal County Down and had the temerity to have Gary the pro up there sign the card, and it's on my office wall.
He rang me and he said I believe Randy had played the golf course twice, but he put all the scores on the one card. So
well, the Irish Golf Tour operators kept me up until 5 a.m, Eamon.
Well, that is that Irish hospitality. That's 2.0 Irish hospitality there. That's maintaining the standards, and I'm delighted to hear that there's a continuity, whatever part of Ireland you go and visit, that those standards are kept, whether it's north, south, east, or west. But the spa, again, as you were mentioning there, we are incredibly proud of the spa that we have here on site. They've recently won numerous awards in the last 2 or 3 years. We've a manager in there, Kerry Kelly, and her team do an incredible job. Everything that you'd imagine from a spa facility, but also they have that, they have that touch of magic. They're constantly improving it. We've invested quite heavily in it in the last couple of years, and we've plans to do so in the next 18 months. But the ladies are incredible. The team that work there, and led by Kerry, and I've had my mother down there recently, and sister-in-law, and if ever I need to get brownie points in place or in the locker, I make sure that they take up the offer of going to spa, and I'm in the good books for a number of months. So that's that you can never go wrong when you lead them in the right direction.
That's right. Well, let's talk about the golf course now and get into the heart of it. Again, a pedigree, folks, of a golf course is what tournaments it's hosted, what famous people have golfed on a golf course. And I think Eamon and the rest of the staff there at Dromoland Castle in the west of Ireland are proud to say that the Beatles actually came and horsed around one day at Dromoland Castle. Did they go on the golf course?
They may not have played golf on the golf course. There may have been a game of croquet on the 18th green. They had an issue with their plane, so they landed nearby in Shannon, and we were the closest hotel that was able to facilitate them. And obviously this was the height of their fame, and I suppose they wanted to keep as incognito as possible. So yeah, we've some great pictures of the Beatles with playing croquet just off the 18th green. It's one of those moments that you keep on looking back and thinking, has that really happened on our 18th green? But thankfully since then we've had a number of famous golfers. We've had the likes of Gary Player, Lee Jansen, Sam Torres, Sandy Lyle, have come and played here in different events down through the years. And more recently, then we've held the Women's Irish Open in 22 and 23. So that saw us with our, I suppose the course was redesigned in 2002, but then up to the Women's Irish Open, we decided to revamp it even again, and that was set under Ron Kirby, who would be the original designer with JB Carr. We brought a new vision to Ron as regards to what we wanted to do, and that then saw us hosting the Women's Irish Open, where we were thrilled to have that event back on the Ladies European Tour calendar, and we were thrilled to be part of the group that actually brought that back onto the tour, and we look forward to seeing that event return to us in the very near future, hopefully.
Sorry, that's Jack Nicholas calling me. He wants to play this afternoon. I keep that. Jack, I'm busy. I'm talking to Eamon over here, and leave me alone, Golden Bear.
We might sneak Jack in when Gary wants to come back for a game as well. They might be available after their week in April at Augusta.
Eamon, God himself has blessed me. I've interviewed Mr. Nicholas twice and Mr. Player once. And Gary Player, as you well know, is known. He's 110 years old, but he's built like a 20-year-old. He works out all the time.
Yeah.
And it's paying dividends for him at this point. And one of my questions I asked him was, have you ever considered wrestling a crocodile as exercise? And he goes, no, but I might try that.
If you'd seen some pairs of his shoes, you imagine he probably has in the past. But yeah, no, I've been very fortunate, like yourself, to meet both of those two gents, those two greats, and it's incredible to sit down in either one of their companies and you just listen. You just take in everything that they have, because the stories that they have are, it's just incredible knowledge of the game, but also incredible stories and characters that they've come across in their time as well.
Well, let's talk about the golf course. Now, folks at home, for you, a parkland golf course is traditionally what we play here in America. A parkland golf course, think Nebraska, think Ohio, think Colorado. There's no ocean beside it. That's a links course. You got to have an ocean beside it. Eamon, I get upset when a golf course in Nebraska says, we're the links at Huckleberry Farms. No, you're not. You don't have an ocean. You're one of the very best parkland courses in Ireland, in the world. Tell us about the topography, the layout, your signature holes.
Yeah, so we're very lucky. We are a par 72 championship course. As I was saying, the course dates back to 1964, redesigned in 2002 by the legend Ron Kirby and JB Carr. And more recently, a few upgrades since then with hosting the Women's Irish Open. But we've it is your traditional parkland golf course. The big difference is that it is set around a 15th century castle as the main backdrop, along with the main lake of the estate as well. So it's set over 210 acres. You've got everything from your challenging par fours and fives and threes to water hazards and one or two deep bunkers, to a bit of risk reward then on a couple of holes with we would drivable par four on 10 and 15 with little risk rewards where water in front of them or water behind them. Possibly our two signature holes or three signature holes at the moment. A lot of people will kind of go for the seventh, is a par three from an elevated tee, looking down onto a green that is protected by one side from a bunker, the other side on a lake, and then the backdrop behind that is going to be the setting of the main lake and the castle. So it's one of those, you arrive on the tee box and you step back and on, you kind of go, oh my God, this is, we call it one of the first Kodak moment of the golf course. So number 7. Number 11 then has also become a hole that we transformed back in 2022, where we cleared elements of it to open up the views of the lake and the castle. And the setting for 11 is quite stunning. You get to the green, you've got a Swilken bridge bring you to the 12 tee box, and the backdrop again is main lake and the castle. And it's just kind of one of those magical moments, especially if you play it early in the morning or late at night. You've got the sun coming up in front, from behind the castle. It's stunning. 18 then we think is 18 is the finishing hole of the stretch of Kirby's Corner. So in memory of our great friend and designer Ron Kirby, we named the last 3 holes Kirby's Corner in his honor. He passed away with us there a couple of years ago. So Kirby's Corner has the 16th, which is our index 1 par 4, plays from an elevated tee up into an elevated green with water short of the green. 17 then is a beautiful par 3 that was synonymous with the winner, Klara Spilikova, actually got up and down from the water hazard to make par on her way to winning the Women's Irish Open here in 22. And then 18 is a hole we're very proud of. We believe it's one of the iconic finishing holes in Irish golf, if not world golf. The setting is stunning. You've got the large main lake on your right hand side, and the tee boxes, you feel as if you're actually out almost on the water. And all up your right hand side is this main lake, and you've got the fairway then, and then the backdrop. You're effectively hitting in towards the castle. So it's just one of those iconic holes that has a setting that takes your breath away. And the great thing is, if you are sitting in the bar later on the castle that afternoon and
I wouldn't be.
No, but you're able to see people coming up and finishing the 18th, and I've sat there myself and had a few little wagers whether they're going to 3-putt or hit it in the water or stuff like that. Like the great story of the 18th green is Ron Kirby designed the 18th green from the window at the bar with a whiskey in one hand and a pencil and a piece of paper in his other hand. And so, as I always said to Ron, there's a few little bumps and hollows around the 18th green that maybe suspect as regards to their severity. And Ron says, well, that would have been, I drew that when I was on the second or third whiskey. So, it's one of those great finishing holes that has a risk reward. It's a par 5 that's reachable in 2 for the bigger hitter, but also it's one that you can make a 3, anything up to a 7 or a 9. So it's we're very proud of how it's turned out since the upgrade work there recently.
I'm a Bushmills and a Jameson lover and Tully McDo lover. What's your favorite?
I am a Jameson, and I'm also a Redbreast.
Redbreast.
Yeah.
Well,
Redbreast number 12. You can't go wrong with that.
Well, Eamon, we look forward here at Golfing Around to visiting you this April. Then when I get back home, let's do this again so we can really dissect that golf course. Eamon, please tell us again what your website is.
Our website is www.dromoland.ie. So that's DROMOLAND.ie. And I say we look forward to welcoming guests throughout the year. And obviously it's some very exciting times here in Irish golf, especially in the west of Ireland. We have the Walker Cup with our friends in Lahinch in September. The Men's Irish Open is in our friends in Trumptoonbeg. And then obviously all roads will be leading towards the Ryder Cup with our friends in Adair. All of those 3 courses are within 40 minutes of us. So we're very excited by what's happening both here in Dromoland, but also in the region as well. And we're looking forward to having as many eyes enjoying what Irish golf is and what Irish hospitality is in the next number of years. It's going to be an exciting period in Irish golf here.
Well, Eamon, I'm going to bring you something with Pittsburgh Steelers on it. They are you better give the right answer here. Are the Pittsburgh Steelers your favorite team, Eamon?
How would I say this? The political answer is they are. If I'm sitting down with my one of the owners of Dromoland, but I am a Vikings fan, so you can imagine how that went in September here in Dublin.
Did you paint yourself purple and run around going with a horn and helmet?
I may have been purple by the end of the day. We'll put it that way.
That's because you drank too much of that red breast and your oxygen got cut off.
We never divulge anything that happens in the 19th, Randy. You know yourself.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, sir, God bless. Enjoy your day, and we look forward to seeing you in April.
Fantastic, Randy. Thanks again for having us, and look forward to seeing you on the Emerald Isle in a couple of weeks' time, and we'll make sure that the Irish weather is going to be sensational this summer. So we look forward to seeing you, possibly not in shorts, but I'm afraid of the ankles that you have after all those injuries. But look forward to having you join us.
I have pretty ankles, my girlfriend tells me. Hey, when we come back to the Golfing Around Radio Hour, we're going to be talking about the Veterans Day Parade in November. And of course, in June, our second annual Veterans Day golf outing. I'm a member of the golf committee and parade committee, and very excited for this year's event. We're at Cedar Brooks. So we'll be right back to the Golfing Around Radio Hour. Hey, Eamon, thanks for your time and your hospitality. And I look forward to shaking your hand and looking you in the eye.
Yeah, fantastic, man. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, brother. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Ray. Thank you. Thanks, bye.
Bye.